how's things with Brit, Neil? And the only reason I asked that is he posted a picture, obviously, on his social media this week, kind of, laughing and joking. I'm not suggesting he wasn't under the weather. He was back. He was all right. But obviously, there's lots of different ways that could be interpreted. How is he, and how is your kind of relationship with him?
No, he's done really well this week in training. And Duncan, same. I mean, Duncan looked really lethargic at Swansea, I thought. So they've all been outstanding in training this week. It's been, like you say, laughter and joking, but putting hard work in at the same time, which is what you want as a manager. So I haven't got a problem. Obviously, I'm not daft, and he's not daft. I think these next 2 or 3 games will decide what we're going to do, and accordingly we'll act after that.
Yeah. Because you clearly have a decision to make there, and it's there's a decision to make with Ashley, but obviously he's injured at the minute, so he can't kind of nudge you either way. But Britt can, and is that the challenge to him now to kind of do that between now and the end?
Well, I think there's only 11 games. I think there'll only be 8 games left in a week's time, won't there? So a lot will. I think you probably have to talk to me, after the international break. Really, the Irish lads going away. Playing Saturday, what is it? Wednesday, Saturday, and then they're playing on a Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night in Ireland.
Wednesday night,
and we're playing Friday afternoon at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Oh God, it does my bloody head in.
I bet it does.
You can't tell me that Northern Ireland couldn't get the game Tuesday if they'd have wanted it. There's no thought whatsoever. Nobody gives a damn about anybody else.
No. What about the keeper? What about Marcus in terms of next season? Obviously, he's had a massive impact, both on and off the pitch. I think it's fair to say. And is that have you had any talks there either with him or with Fulham, or is that any is there a chance? Do you think, or do you fully expect him to be going back?
I just think we've got to. I think decisions like that you've got to just wait till the end of the season, till we know where we are really.
Right.
We've talked about Britt and Ashley, who's out of contract, people like that. I think that'll all be decided in the. You'll be the first to know if anything dramatic's going to happen, because I don't keep things back, do I? I'm pretty good with you lot regarding that.
And you say it's kind of do or die time now, and it does kind of feel like that. But if you look back at the history books, there's plenty of clubs have come from a worse position than where Borough are at the minute, and ended up finishing the season spectacularly. So while you're right, there's not much wriggle room. It's not impossible at the moment.
No, I think when I was at Huddersfield, I'm not sure, but I thought we won the last 5 or 6 games to get in the 6th position.
Yeah.
Just to creep in, and I think we won the playoffs. Us.
Yeah.
So it just shows you. I think at times it's easier said than done, but I think that's it's the right thing now.
Great. Good luck, Neil.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Craig, where are you, Craig?
Hey, Neil.
Where's Craig? Oh, he's there. That's I've got you. It's all right, Craig. I've got different names under the things. It confuses me a bit. Carry on.
Just to start, now you mentioned the inconsistency there previously. I mean, as a manager, is there anything you can actually do, like in terms of coaching, to kind of deal with inconsistency?
Well, not if it continues, Craig. The only thing you can do is get better players that don't make as many mistakes.
Yeah. And so I guess that's, like looking at the transfer window in the summer, that will be the aim then, because I guess a lot of the inconsistency also comes down to kind of, squad numbers and missing particular players when they've been injured. So I'm guessing, signing the right players who can cover that next season could be key.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you talk, inconsistencies. I look at the Swansea's first goal. Now, probably Johnny Howson and Mark Bowler's been our most consistent players. But one mistake and we're 1-0 down, and I don't think they've had a look at the goal, You just don't, you can't legislate for things like that. But I think in other places, like the corner free kicks we've given away over the season and the long throws and things like that, are you with me? We've got to do better at things like that in this league. And we've got to score more goals from set pieces. So, I am looking at to try and get more of a threat in their opponent's box as well, if I'm honest.
And do you think the way this season is, how compact it's been and how, kind of no let up, so to speak, do you think that could impact it as well? Because obviously at this level, just one little moment, like you mentioned, with Howson and Bowler, where they might switch off for just a second, can be costly. Do you think that could be down to the fact that there isn't much rest?
Yeah, I think it's that for everything really. Same with referees. I think at the moment, you can hear every sound. You can hear players screaming when they go down, and I think that affects referees. And I think it makes their mind up that is there something wrong, and I think that's why some of them change their mind at times because of the squealing. And whereas when the crowd's in, you don't hear anything like that, So I think it affects everybody really. With no crowds. Craig, if there were no crowds next year, if it happened, I think I would say to Steve, I think you've got to think again, really, if there's no crowd. I need crowds, mate. He knows that, Steve's 90% sure that we'll be able to get some sort of crowds in at the start of the season, and we need that. We need that affection, and we need the lift that it gives. I've worked since June, I think, now, without any crowds, and it's hard work for a manager working without crowds for since nearly a year, because the only motivation the players have got is the manager, and you need a bit of help. You need the crowds and people like that to take a bit of that off you. It's really, really been hard work for managers this last 9 months, 10 months, even a year. So I'm looking forward to the day when we welcome the crowds back, and even the stick I get away from home. I've missed Bristol City fans giving me stick. Are you with me? And things like that. I enjoy that, even at the time. So it's got to be, that's got to be the main thing now. Getting these injections and let's getting on with getting the fans back in the stadiums.
Yeah, I mean, touch wood. I mean, that atmosphere that kind of fans created, it gives that little bit of extra edge to a game, doesn't it? I know a few players have spoke about kind of, motivating themselves and how it's not as easy when the fans are not there as well. So I guess it does take away from the games as well.
I think it's good for everybody. Financially, it's got to help the owners of all these clubs, because at the moment they're just putting money in and just pumping money in and not seeing anything. It's got to help the players. I think it's got to help the referees as well. It's got to get them on the toes, and because I've never seen so many inconsistencies in that department since I've been in the game. Really, the inconsistencies that this season I've seen is the top of the list really. So I think it's got to help everybody.
Yeah. Just one on fitness, Neil. Talvor, Fletcher, are they going to be available at all at the weekend? Or are they
I don't think so. I'm speaking to them. Fletcher trained with us yesterday. He did all the games and everything. But I think you've got to be. I know what the medical people are saying. The medical people are saying if I play him and it goes, it's my fault. So what do you do, Craig? Are you with me?
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm tempted not to play him. But, I'll see Fletcher later. I mean, he's going to train with us. When you see him train, you think he's fit. So, Tavernier is slightly different. It's not as bad as we thought. We have had a scan. I mean, his ankle is absolutely black all the way around. As much as that, Craig. It's just completely black around the bone. And he will get pain. But I think he should be okay. I might not risk him tomorrow, but I think he should be okay next week to be involved at some stage before the international break.
And how's Darnell Fisher, Neil? Because obviously he had a little ankle problem, didn't he? And he hasn't been in the team a little while now. Is that because of the ankle, or
it's an Achilles problem, Craig, that he's had. Not the ankle. It's the back. His Achilles tendon. And I think yesterday I had a word with him yesterday, and he said it's a lot better now. He hardly feels it now. So I think this week, Darnell will be involved this week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a timely kind of boost for you with Dyke still getting injured, because when he came in, Fisher, he was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it just shows you what you've got to have in your squad. You've got to have these players in your squad, because you're going to get a Dig Steele or you're going to get a Dale Fry, aren't you? Going out for weeks. So you've just got to have backup. I mean, the plus thing for me as well at the moment is the way Grant Hall seems to be playing, and just tempting Providence here, aren't I, really? Touching wood. But he's probably playing as well as I've ever seen him play at the moment. The last two games. So that's a big plus for us.
Yeah, and just finally from me, Neil, reports this week that you might be looking at Kebe Harris. I think they're railing up with him in the summer. Is that something you have looked at?
I'm looking to bring in a lot of players, trying to bring some players in the summer, Craig. But I think you know better than to ask me questions about players. You know what all managers say. You could quote me without even asking me, couldn't you? I think there'll be a few more than Kadeem in the next few weeks and months. I'm sure there'll be 2 or 3 a week mentioned.
Thanks very much, Neil. Good luck.
Thank you. Joseph. Yeah, don't worry.
Hi, Neil. You okay?
Yes, mate.
You spoke a lot the last few weeks about kind of recruitment and scouting. Can you kind of give us an idea of what's the kind of makeup of the scouting team at the club?
Well, it's very difficult because we can't go and watch games at the moment. We tried to watch a couple abroad in the last fortnight, and we're not allowed to. Copenhagen, I think we went to watch it. We wanted to watch a game there, and we weren't allowed to do that. They were only allowed 15 members or something in the government, whatever the legislation is. So it's very difficult. At the moment, we just, we are looking at videos, but I think it's a dangerous way to go down. I could do you a video, Joe, of a player, and you'd think he was unbelievable at the end of the video. But we watched one in the last couple of weeks that's been really recommended to us on the video, and Ronnie watched him and said, not for us really. I think if you see the good bits in his game, he's unbelievable. But when you look at the larger bits in his game, he's not for us. So it's one of those. They've got to give us names. They've given us names. Sam, who's the head of recruitment, he's given us names. I think I had about 12 names last week, but I've asked him to get that down to 2 or 3. Really, we don't want 12 names. We want the best 2 or 3 to look at really from abroad. And also, if possible, I'd like to get English lads in as well. Or not English, I mean people that have played in the Championship. I'd like to get, people that have done it and seen it and done it really, if I could.
So how big kind of is the recruitment team and how much work do they do and how much is it?
Well, I think they talk to everybody. There's three in their offices full time. I'm not sure if one doesn't work from home, but there's 3 in the offices, and Ronnie and Kev, they go down most afternoons and have an hour with them and look at what's cropping up. We have a meet. I had a meeting a few weeks ago and told them exactly what I was looking for in the recruitment, not to waste time on other positions that I'm not looking for, and giving them the main positions, and that's what I did.
You feel now that you can look at players abroad more, because I think in January you were saying you were looking at players abroad and felt you couldn't really go for them because of the situation.
Yeah, it is difficult abroad. We are looking. I think you've got to look. We're trying to look at the whole games when we see players from abroad. So I know it's difficult because from the lenses of the camera, it's still difficult to look at the movement off the ball, etc. Joe, when they're following the ball for the game. But we're looking in depth at people abroad. That's why, if I could, I'd love to get somebody that's played in the Championship. I don't think it's too much of a time for gambling again. I think you just can't see them. You can't see the type of player that we're looking for. There's hardly any about really. So we're going to be very lucky to get the right one. It's not going to be easy. It's all right saying we're going to get a couple in the summer. We might not get anybody better than what we've got. So it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you one as well about Sam Morty. I think he was given man of the match at Swansea. He obviously scored his first goal. Are you encouraging him to be more of an attacking player? Obviously, he's kind of main attribute is a defensive player, but he's got forward.
I mean, Sam is what he is. His contribution the last few weeks has been excellent. So I can't fault that. It was nice to see him get on the score sheet. But I think his overall contribution has been very good as well. He's an important part in the squad. You've got to have a number of players, and with all the games, you've got to share it around as well. So that's what we'll be doing this next 7 days.
Cheers, Neil.
Thanks, Joe. Simon, where are you, Simon?
Hi Neil, I'm here. Thank you.
Got you.
I haven't got the face of a tabloid snake. I don't think. But
I think one of them in the press room are one of yours, Simon. If I'm honest.
It'll be a colleague, yeah. Just one question on Britt. He's been a very expensive signing for this club. Does he want a future at Borough, and can he still earn one? I know you said in the past he needs to take a pay cut if he stays.
Well, I think the discussion we've got to have is, I think, probably in a few weeks' time. Really, I think we've just got to keep going until we're definitely out of the the top six, trying to get in there. I've spoke to Britt quite a lot, especially before Christmas. He was my captain, etc. Are you with me? And so I obviously spoke to him most days. He knows. I know what his feelings are, and he knows what mine is. And we just have to, there's 11 games to go. At the moment, we haven't looked further than next week, really. And I think that's what we've got to do, really.
Yeah, and I think after a game a couple of weeks ago, you were indicating that you were kind of a regular goal-scoring striker short of rivaling top 2, top 4. I mean, is it fair to say that that's what you're looking for when you've had your meetings with the scouts and the recruitment people, that's one position that you are absolutely targeting?
Simon, I've been after one of them for 35 years now.
Yeah.
And I don't seem to be able to find them.
Yeah.
It's they go somewhere else and I miss out on them. It's a position that is the most difficult to find, really. And if you look at all the top teams in this league, you'll see all the goal scorers at those teams, really. All right, you look at that, Ivan Toney and people like that. Do you know what I mean? And you look on with envy, really, at somebody like that, because that one player like that could make the whole difference. But they're few and far between. There's not that many around, and the ones that are around are soon gobbled up in the Premier League. I think, like if Brentford don't go up, I would imagine it'd be very difficult to keep hold of him, because there'll be 5 or 6 clubs, I would imagine, in the Premier League. But it's finding one. And then also persuading them to come to Middlesbrough. Believe it or not, some people don't want to come north of England.
Outrageous.
I find that very difficult, mate, when I look at you lot on this board here.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Come on, Rob, let's have you.
Neil, it was a year ago today. I was picking up my fanzines from the printer, and only to find the game was called off. And that was the start of everything, of a terrible year. I mean, how do you reflect looking back at what has been such a difficult time?
I think it's been very, very difficult for everybody. Managers, look how long I've been in the game, Rob, and as I've said, if they'd have been like this, there's no way I'd have been in the game 5 minutes, because this is not what we want in football. Even in the parks. Places like that, the football is our life, really. But it's made me realise at times that I've got to work even harder in these times to try and get yourself and the rest of the fans, give them something to cheer about, because it's an outlet for, people don't realise what an outlet it is, football, for everybody. Yeah, you get your people saying, why do they get special treatment, this, that and other. But people don't understand how much mental side of that football relieves such a lot of pressure on so many people around the country. I've found myself probably a little bit more under pressure. I don't mean football-wise, result-wise, because it doesn't matter to me if I get the sack. But I meant trying to please everybody, trying to get the fans, because I realise what it's like, when you're in a house without a garden and you've got a kid to look after and all sorts of problems that's been there. Yes, I've got problems with referees, but they're really insignificant, aren't they, when you look at the problems that families have got in this pandemic? So it's been one of the biggest challenges in my lifetime, and that's why I don't want to end up. And Sharon knows my feelings. I don't want to die on the job. I know that, but I don't also want to finish at such a horrible time in football. I want to fling my fist up to the fans at the Riverside after a victory and enjoy myself and show everybody. I want to let people at Middlesbrough enjoy themselves and get behind the team, and the players love to come in and the oohs and ahs and get a new generation. That's why I want season tickets. I'll end up going on the road soon to sell season tickets. I bet, just to get them in, but that's what I want. And if it's going to be my last season, then I want to go. I do want to really give it my best shot.
Be bold. Be immersed. Be transformed. Be Teesside.
Week half-time score in the Stoke Area Championship match, Swansea 61, Middlesbrough.
Johnny Howson, he picked up the loose ball and it rolled back to the edge of the area to Mark Bowler. He hits it so well that the whistle had already gone for the challenge on Jay Fulton. Did Fulton kick the boot of Balassi? That is the question. Mark Bowler, well, what a moment it would have been for him. What a start to the second half.
additional minutes to be added at the end of the match. 6 minutes.
And finally, they find a way through. There was Morty on the edge of the area, and it just took a clip on its way towards goal. Jay Fulton was trying to close down Sam Morty. And it left Freddie Woodman helpless, wrong-footed. Here's Jamal Lowe. He hasn't got a great deal of support. He looks to pull the ball back, and a chance perhaps here. And appeals for a penalty from Swansea. Jake Bidwell looking towards the referee, who points to the spot. And for the second successive game, Swansea get a penalty deep into stoppage time. Neil Warnock furious. Middlesbrough cannot believe it.
Shooting opportunity for somebody else. Clayton over the top for Fletcher. He's got away from Bart. Here's a chance, Fletcher! And he did so well to just ride the challenge of his former teammate Danny Bart here. Bart it was who played him onside. It's a clumsy challenge from him. Not sure whether Butland got fingers on it. If he did, it's a very good save. It's a very important save. Gregory, McLean in a good position in the middle, and McLean, what a save by Pearce. More work to be done, and he can't keep out that effort from Clucas, and Stoke City have the lead. Sam Clucas with it. Harrison. If the flag stays down, and it did, and Fletcher has scored, and Middlesbrough are level. Well, it just seemed to stand still momentarily. Everybody looking to the assistant referee near side. Now, should the flag have been raised? Fletcher's run there, good call, he's not offside. And doesn't he take it well from there on in? Stoke defenders busily appealing for offside. Fletcher goes in. Scotland can only help it in. And Middlesbrough draw level 3 minutes after going behind. away from Cousins, who rather overcommitted himself. He's used it wisely too. He's picked out Wing. Wing urged to hit it. Oh, why not? He's found the bottom corner. And Middlesbrough, from being 1 down, now lead 2-1. Lewis Wing with his first goal since the opening weekend of the campaign. Jonathan Woodgate shares his delight with the rest of the technical team. This looked most unlikely when Stoke City took the lead early in this second half. Great work from Tavernier. He picked out Wing in loads of space. Where is the Stoke City midfield? And Wing really wraps his right boot around this, and Jack Butland has no chance at all. Earlier tonight, it looked as though Stoke City were climbing above Middlesbrough in the table. Whips it in. Ayala arriving. Butland makes a good save. 2 Borough players coming in at him strongly. In comes the cross again. And he'll come out as far as Spence. Well, Butland has kept Stoke City in the game with this save. Daniel Ayala. He met it firmly. To make a bit of an impact and a bit of a noise, Middlesbrough found an equaliser and then went on to win it through Lewis Wing. Their 3rd home win in a row.